What's up guys, I'm Dunmere, I'm a rank 1 peak Supervive player, and I have almost 1,000 hours played in the game already, 200 of which were on Oath. In this video I'm going to give you guys a build guide talking about all the best item builds, talking about the powers, and what the best level up order is for Oath. Jumping right into it, I'm going to go and start off with the items. So, there's a lot to talk about in terms of Oath. Oath has a lot of different viable builds that you can go in. There is one that I think is kind of objectively the best, but I'm just gonna, give it all to you guys. So, the best one that I think, the one that I am gonna be running, is this Bubble Blade Guardian's Respite Soul Drain build. Though I might substitute the Soul Drain out for a meditation, but I'll tell you why in a second. This build has a lot of just raw power built into it in terms of its healing, right? And in terms of its tankiness, while still having a lot of damage by being half damage. The Bubble Blade gives 25% extra healing in the form of a shield, while Guardian's Respite has a 50% max HP bonus shield on top of that, right? And so you're getting a lot of extra base tankiness while also having your heals all being increased by 25%. But since Oath functions with his heal, restoring his own HP and his shield, having that knocked down with his Guardian Respite tech cooldown reduction gives it an even puts it on a 6-second cooldown. With adding in that Bubble Blade extra heal, you're just farming in the ability to sustain yourself, which is also the ability to sustain your own shield, right? So I think this is absolutely best. And the only thing I would consider changing about it, like I said, is trading out Soul Drain for meditation. I think you might be able to just stand in front of your team and shield up and just stand still, constantly regenerating your mana, and be spamming your empowered shield block and spamming heal on yourself just to tank a bunch of damage and give your team a single individual on your team the ability to brawl or poke way harder, right? And so that might actually work. I need to try that one out, but for now we're soul draining because you kill wisps, you stand on top of them, it's really good. And I might also swap out the Bubble Blade for a Mind Blade if I was really having a lot of mana problems still. But I would start first by swapping meditation for soul drain. So in terms of a damage oriented build, because the one that I'm talking about is a sustain based tanky build, proper tank control space build, even this half version of it where you can still frag pretty hard, is I would go with a Rampage and a Power User. Rampage does let you, this is probably the only character that Rampage is still viable on. That's actually not true, on Felix and maybe Ghost. But you can pre-stack up Rampage, since it activates off of ability presses in addition to primary fires, and you get 10 of either of those, you can get the additional 50 AP. And so doing that on Oath, you just spam your shield 10 times. And you just keep spamming it consistently. Or keep pressing it consistently to maintain that, and so you have your 50 AP. It's not really fun, so if you don't enjoy that, just swap it out for the Bubble Blade for a little bit extra healing, or maybe the Mind Blade. Sorry, it depends on what you actually want to go with for that. So that would be the damage oriented build. And for the full tank build, I would do a Guardian's Respite and a Scholar. That would be what I think is the most basic. Oath will run out of mana mid-fight, so you kind of have to have it, to be honest. But this would be the tankiest build, and you would be getting a lot of tanky HP with it. So, this might be fun to play. But realistically, if you're looking for a tanky build, you're still quite tanky with the Bubble Blade Guardian's Respite build. Having said that, there's not really that much else you can do on this character. You might be able to do something like trade out Last Stand for Power User. That one could be an option, maybe kind of weird, in the Soul Drain build, or the double damage build, just because it gives you the ability to heal yourself up, and if you timed it correctly, you would get that burst of healing and whatever. It's really probably just not that useful in comparison to the other things. Really, none of the other things are. You could also like, you know, sub out the Guardian's Respite for like a Vive Infuser or Soulbound if you want to like mess around with them. They're just not nearly as good inherently. You know, blocking some damage for an ally or having some healing when you dash is just not as good as having 15% extra like max HP, right? And like Helmet Gigantism would be good, but the problem is Helmet Gigantism needs to substitute for the Guardian's Respite in either of the two tankier builds, because you need that. You need a mana item, and at that point you're losing the 15% extra HP shield, and you're losing the or you're just losing the and like the tech from the CDR reduction, so it's not worth it, right? I used to run it. I used to run Helmet Gigantism and Ambrush, which, you know, I was doing that over Scholar, even though they're pretty similar, but Scholar just gives you more base mana, so I like Scholar now. I was doing that because I thought about like the scaling, right? Because it's like technically like the highest AP you can, not like the highest, but it's the highest base stats added up total you'll get. But when I dropped down to having Bubble Blade Guardian's Respite, it gave me a higher damage because I was swapping for a a blade item, but then the extra HP shield from Guardian's Respite was giving me enough HP to make up the difference between Helmet Gigantism being like a quarter HP item. So my stats were higher this way. And the only thing I was trading was like losing out on like some movement speed, right? But I was getting so much more elsewhere. And Bubble Blade is better than, yeah, Bubble Blade is really good. Or Mind Blade is really good. Yeah, so that's basically how all the powers work, or all the items work, guys. All right, so moving on to the actual level up order. I think I have one of the cleanest reads on this character's abilities, just because I put so much time into it and I really thought about like all the different options. And Oath does get a lot of variety in his options, a lot of things to min-max, right? But starting off, you're definitely going to want to go with the Spin Dash. The Spin Dash is not only a movement ability, which is just integral and should be picked first on every character, but it also lets you insta-clear camps. So there's no concerns about not being able to just insta-clear camps, like, and choosing between doing that or, you know, getting your first dash, your dash at level 1. So insta dash, right? And then you need to use your shield, because it unlocks 2 abilities for you. It unlocks your shield and unlocks your empowered shield. And you don't get nearly as much value from your heal until you have your shield, right? So then you get your shield level 3 or your heal level 3, and then you are full kitted. And you're ready to fight. As a note, try not to fight until you're level 3. Being level 2 and being level 3 is an insane difference. Just because of the ability to restore your own shield with your heal, but also to sustain your whole team in the middle of like an early low-level fight. It's just game-changing, like the amount of value you get off of it. From there, you need to do your shield again. Or sorry, your swing again. Your Spin Dash. The Spin Dash gets a -3 second cooldown on the dash itself, and it gets a -3 second cooldown on the shield dash. It's just insane. You have to do it. You're getting a double value for that. And you just need to be getting your dash in general up. It's just really important on this character and in like every character. Particularly because of the shield bash too. Like Oath does get resets for blocking damage with his shield, but you have to block more damage to get it when you don't have this up, and having the empowered shield on such a low cooldown is insane for your survivability. For level 5, you should get your ultimate. The ult is really valuable, so you should definitely pop that. And here's where I think people would start doing different things than me, right? And I started doing things earlier differently in the round, or sorry, in the game. I wasn't prioritizing getting my shield up or my heal up, right? Because I thought, you know, okay, I should probably level up my shield because, you know, repair and regen shield energy faster. Okay, that's valuable, right? But what I didn't know, or what I wasn't thinking about, is how much you can just get value out of just restoring your HP on your shield with your heal itself. But I also didn't know that the repair and regen shield energy faster was bugged. I don't know if it's still bugged, but even if it is, I'd still recommend doing this. But because of that, I recommend leveling up the shield to last. I actually used to level up the shield to level 2 and then the shield to level 3 because I wanted that max HP scaling on shield. It goes from 65% to 80%. And I wanted that, right? And I just wanted a strong shield because I wanted to play tanky. What I realized is the base qualities of the shield, you'll be a lot tankier if you have the HP on the shield, or sorry, the heal, right? Because the heal does 20% more healing at level 2, so you're getting 20% more healing compared to trying to get your, you know, your faster regen or whatever on the shield, which doesn't even work. And then when you get the shield to level 3, you're getting a -4 second cooldown. So it's dropping from 12 seconds down to 8 seconds. With our cooldown reduction items, we can get it down to 6, right? But you're having this ability to pop it for like, I don't know the exact numbers, but it's somewhere close to like 1,000. Healing onto yourself and your shield on an 8-second cooldown, right? And that's just so much more valuable than having like 15% more max HP scaling on this shield, right? Because it's like literally that's like 400 to 300 something extra HP versus having the ability to pop a 1,000 HP heal that heals yourself, your allies, and your shield at a, you know, at 33% faster. It's a pretty big deal. So definitely pop your healing, then pop your healing again, and then you can go in for the other ones. I still would recommend probably if the shield repair and regen shield faster at level 2 is broken still, or if it's not broken, I would still recommend doing it last. Just because getting the extra damage on Abyssal Breaker is strong, but most of the time you're not regenerating your shield with your by waiting like you would in like Overwatch with Reinhardt. Instead, you're just popping your heal, right? Because it's on such a low cooldown. And if you do have enough time to regen your shield, like, you know, properly by waiting, you probably would have had a little bit more time anyway. So I think this is without a doubt the way to go. All right, jumping right into the powers now. I would say that Oath generally has a lot of different things that he can do, right? And so as you're looking at this tier list that's kind of designed towards the randomness of the BR, where you just kind of work from the bottom up and you select the powers that are at the bottom when you see them, if you see them, and then replace them with better ones as you go on, maybe towards the top of the list. Oath's different strengths that he has should be bolstered, right? Like that's what you're looking to do. He's not something you're looking to compensate for as much because he doesn't have, like, you're not trying to compensate for a lack of something in his kit because he basically has everything. And so you're looking to either buff up his self-sustain capability, you're looking to buff up his ability to like lock down an area and be a tanky, I hold this space kind of character. His ability to support allies with rezzing type stuff, or his ability to move and control space. Or as a, you know, a bonus, his ability to slam down and destroy people with his ultimate. So, having said that, the sustain based ones, you're looking at things like these 2 touch powers in the bottom left, the touch mana, touch healing, and those are both for sustaining himself and his allies. When he rezzes somebody, or he dashes on to protect somebody, you know, he gives himself a little bit of healing together type stuff. It's a pretty useful thing. And also for mana, when he heals allies, he can just walk over them as he's healing them, get the mana back, useful. But you're looking more into things like this Berry Eater combo here. The Berry and the Vine and Strong, giving himself a bunch of extra sustain, and his shield can stop him from being anti-healed pretty reliably, so he can actually take advantage of it. That or popping down this anti-mobility field here, or the bungee. The anti-mobility field is the purple one with the guy in it, or the middle of Strong, that power. Popping those down to control space around him, popping the anti-mobility field so people can't walk into it, so he can like protect an off angle while he guards another one. Or putting the bungee down to like, you know, cover in between 2 pillars to stop people from walking through the area, and just like watching it and poking at people to try and go into it. So they get slowed and knocked around by it, or using it to like block a high ground so people can't like walk through it all because they can't jump over it, or put it next to the edge of the abyss so that people like actually just can't get over effectively. Those are really good things to lock down with. But Oath also gets a lot of value out of something like Delicate Barrier, especially with Guardian's Respite, this shield with the axe in it. That power, unless they fixed it, which I don't think they have, or I don't even know if it's a fix, I think they would keep it based on how these devs are. They this power does 50% damage reduction for 2 seconds after you take damage, but or when you stop being full health. But with something like Guardian's Respite, you stay full health above the above that section, like until you've taken damage past that shield. So you continue just like getting extra damage reduction the whole time. And I believe you also take less damage on your shield during that process too. Maybe they changed that, but maybe not. And if so, Delicate Barriers is just strong in general, but it's like extra strong, right? Oath also gets a lot of value out of something like these movement powers, right? Hover Wings is really good for Oath because he can shield up and swing and hover towards something, and then just slap him in the face when he gets there, right? And he can like Empowered Shield, he can use all his abilities while he's doing that. So he can just walk into people. That's really good. Using that to just clear space out. Abyss Specialist is really powerful for him, just giving him so much extra mobility. Like he can, you know, Abyss Specialist dash across the abyss for a free dash reset, dash into the enemy to damage them, Empowered Shield knock them back, take damage on his shield for that, and then get a reset again. There's just so much value he can get out of that, right? Same thing with Grappling Hook. You can do a lot of the same sort of thing with that. But he also gets a lot of value from ally support. And so, like I said, the touch abilities at the bottom left, where you touch people and you share HP/mana or speed, or these Guardian Angel based ones. The Guardian Angel ones give him the ability to make his reses like a lot faster, while also applying the Guardian Angel effect, which is useful, but it's mainly for, you know, the Guardian Angel like res while you're not on them effect. But it's really useful just in general for speeding up his reses a bunch. So that's something to look for. But probably the best ones you're still looking for is these exotic powers, right? So this Delicate Disguise here is an even better version of the Stealth Cloak. You just walk up your permanent invis. It's not as good as on a character like Kingpin or something like that, where you have a guaranteed super high damage stun follow-up. But Oath can just walk up with a Delicate Disguise, slam an ult right on top of the enemy's heads, and then just crap on their whole team. Or he could take Blink Stone and charge up a swing, TP into the enemy team. I have a video that's going to be probably going up on my YouTube about this one. With me fighting Aiden and Tredsy and Tom Kick on their EU server, King, and me beating them. Spoilers. But I use it in that, and you just get to like a lot of value to cover distance and bully people and just slap them with huge stuns. That and then Kaiju Scale is really good because you can knock people, or Kaiju Fang, I think it's Abyssal Fang now, the purple one here, having the ability to knock people into, though it does actually look different, so this is kind of an old image, but having the ability to like launch that big circle of stun and then knock people into it, or use it to zone people and then you counter zone with your ultimate where they try to go to, and there's so many things you can do with it. So these are the powers with Oath, and you'll get a lot of value out of these things. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you have any questions or have anything to say, go ahead and throw them into the comments below, or come follow me on my Twitch and my YouTube when I'm streaming, and go ask them there.